Welcome back, David. There is one other question that may be of interest, and this is a question where somebody who was arrested in India for something, committed a crime, and he had some probation period and some fines or maybe small period of jail, and now
This isn't anyone who shot a black deer, right?
not a black
Okay.
deer. Okay. So this question is that his brother had filed a petition for him, and now he's going to applying for the immigrant visa. And on the application form, there is a question: have you ever been arrested, convicted of any crime? Now, it's the multiple question. What should he say in that? Because I know why he's asking the question. He's thinking, it happened in India. Who cares? We don't have. How would they know? The consuls of the U.S. government. I simply say no. How will they know that? So that's one question. Should he and should he not say yes? But that requires, I'm sure that you will agree with me that he must say yes, tell the truth.
Right.
Because lying and they find out they've got a big problem.
Right.
So he tells the truth, and then what else does he do? He has to explain what the crime was, what the punishment was, how the case was resolved. That's what he has to explain in the form also. Also, we advise, you and me advise people with those kind of things. The first thing we do, we want to see a decision of disposition. What the judge decided. Is the case still pending is another story, we can talk about that in a minute. But case has been disposed of, whatever punishments were done, whatever he was charged with, all that information is important to see. Because there are various steps, various stages of the crime.
Right.
Some small crime which doesn't involve moral turpitude issue may not be a big problem if a traffic violation or something happened, or there is a crime of moral turpitude, or person committed a murder or a serious offense or drugs,
Right.
or smuggling or
Right.
money laundering.
Right.
All these we have to see what is it for, what happened, the ultimate disposition.
Right.
So the two-part question. So that you advise, you will agree with me on looking at that particular documentation to decide what we should do.
Right.
That's the second part of that is, if he is ineligible under the law, you say yes, but counsel is going to deny him, then there are some waivers available.
Yes.
And go ahead.
Well,
The big
so
question,
what
tall
is it-
question.
which one do you want me to address?
Well, say let's talk about he should do what the law says. He should be truthful. Say yes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And so
and-
if there's something that has occurred to him by way of him being involved in a criminal action abroad, then of course you would want to answer that on the documents. And I think that we just recently reported how the databases are being expanded
Yeah.
because of the electronic data that's being input. So don't take a chance. You don't know what database, what information is being coupled with other databases. So don't take a chance by not disclosing it, because you have more to lose by not making that disclosure, because you're going to have your case denied for fraud.
Yeah.
And if it's, then if you make the disclosure and try to deal with the issue.
So other part of that question is basically, he has come to us. So we have to assist him now how to explain based upon the decision, what we have to write, and what kind of documents that have to be submitted to the American consul. He's going to definitely, when you go for interview, you're going to say, show me all the papers.
Right, of course.
So we will, as lawyers, we make a decision whether there's this, how serious it is, and under a felony, is it a misdemeanor type of crime and
Right.
what, and is he eligible? Sometimes we say, yeah, we can explain everything correctly, and probably the consul will issue the visa, because under the law, that is not a type of crime that the consul should deny. Or if we see the consul is going to deny, then we talk about the waivers.
Right.
So waivers means in Hindi I say maafi nama, forgiving
Right.
him. How does that work?
Well, it's a very, it's interesting that you raise this issue, Michael, because there was a case that I read this week where an individual, it was actually in the UK, this individual had said on their DS 160, they were asked, did you commit a crime of moral turpitude? He said no. And then later on, they said, were you ever arrested, convicted, etc.? He said yes, and he fully explained it. They originally denied his case based upon the fact that he committed the crime of moral turpitude, said that you lied about that, and then later on when he applied for the waiver, they actually granted the waiver. I think it was a 212H waiver, and
Yes,
they
I know the
overcame.
case.
Are you familiar with
But
the
listen,
case?
David,
They-
how
overcame-
many people understand moral turpitude?
Well, that's the thing. That's exactly what he argued, Michael. He argued, look, I'm not in, and he argued, of course, through his lawyer who made the 212H claim, said, look, you know, my client is, has, first of all, he was married to a U.S. citizen, so they had the eligible family member, so that worked. They showed the balance of the hardship. So the question really became, is this person an expert in what is considered to be a CMT, or a crime of moral turpitude? And the immigration authorities actually said, no, we can't expect this individual to know what is a crime of moral turpitude. But Michael, in that case, what I think was really interesting is that the fact that he went so far as to disclose under arrests and convictions that they had it and fully explain it, sort of took away from the fact, in other words, if he had understood what a CMT was, he would have probably answered correctly. But I don't think this individual understood what a CMT is.
So in other words, he told all the truth and submitted all the documents. There was no reason for him to say no. If he understood it properly, he would have said yes.
That's right.
Or no,
That's
or
right.
don't know.
Well, it's, you know what
Because
it is?
even if he was arrested, okay, or convicted of a crime, when you say, if the question is, were you ever convicted of a crime, he could say yes. If he doesn't know what is moral turpitude, he may be thinking, oh, this is something else, nothing to apply with me.
Yeah, so really what it comes down to is whether or not a layman can understand what is a CMT. That's really what the issue was. And the answer is that laymen are not expected to know what a CMT is. We are expected, we as legal professionals, we're supposed to be able to tell our clients what CMTs are. So if they go and they're filling out the DS-160, they can't understand, they can't know exactly what that is.
And then we have a little more to talk about. Maybe our next program is what happens if the case is still pending. What happens if there's a civil? People ask this question. My case is still pending. I've got a civil case against about $1 million against me, and all those things generally do not.
Civil cases don't have any
well,
issue at all.
Again, we are running out of the time. David, thank you very much. Thank all of you for watching the program. Please keep watching us every Saturday at 1 p.m. only on TV Asia. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye now.